The life we're living is a story we're telling ourselves. It's a narrative. We're not telling the experience that just happened. We're talking about the experience of the experience. How we saw the experience. The classic tale is there's what he said, she said, then there's the truth. There's three sides to every story. There's three sides to what really happened. And I say, it's really the story you telling about the story you're living. Peace. It's Travis Odewell. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. The story you're telling yourself about yourself. It's where we're building a mastery. We build our mastery through the Pure Sound method, lifestyle design, leadership development, culture building, and business design. This is the 4 parts that there's 4 parts to each of those 4 parts. That's why we had 16 parts of mastery. Within all that, we're unlocking your genius, getting you on the path that purpose finds you, and building prosperity. And how we do that, the tools we use to actually create this life of mastery, this life of habitual joy and happiness. The tools we're using are business principles, psychological type, story structure, and spiritual architecture. Now, the life we're living and the story we're telling ourselves and other people about the life we're living. This is where I say this is a heavy self-talk demonstration. In the genre, so to speak, the genre of the story that we're telling, that language that we're using is the language of psychological type, is the language of personality type. I'm working right now on advancing the language of psychological type. It's where we're going through our whole program here. We're going to start really making some connections. Spiritual architecture. Making a connection of psychological type and our mind. Our mind being the soul, and our mind connecting us to the spirit, to source. That all that we create, all that we do in any area of our life is through our mind. We see it in our mind before we bring it into creation. Whether it's in our personal lives, our close ones, whether it's family or your found family, whoever you close to. So personal, family, your community, that extended community piece. It's your local, geographical community, or we have the online communities. We're building an online community right now, like-minded individuals. I want it to be more than that. That's the goal. That's another tale for another day. And of course, our career, our business, our organization, our employment, and our professional career, our trades, what you're building a skill in. Personal life, family life, community, and career. All of those areas. We're connecting it to the language of the mind, which is psychological type. And everything that you're doing, the life you've created, has been created by your thoughts. And if you're unconscious of that, you're just unconscious of that. That's just what it is. That's how this life works. That is the focus, one of the focuses of, I would say, just our time here on this planet, but of what Pure Sound L is doing here. It's to make you conscious, to make you aware, to make you know the thoughts that you're thinking. Because the thoughts you don't know you thinking, you're still thinking them. You just don't know you thinking them. That's what's called being unconscious. So let's get a real language changer here. This is what being woke really is. Being woke is actually knowing what you think. Knowing what you know. Being asleep is not knowing what you think. Having a whole lot of subconscious, unconscious thoughts running your life. And thoughts also mean emotions. You can have a whole lot of, you feel a certain type of way about something, and you don't know that. I'm not an emotional person. Okay, you're either a psychopath or you just have a lot of unconscious emotions. Considering psychopaths are a very small part of the population that do a very large part of the crime, and most people are not psychopaths. So I say just get rid of that type of language. Saying you're not this, you're not that. And yet this and that are inherently human. Moving right along. Spiritual architecture is simply talking about our connection of the physical world, our connection to our minds, and our minds connected to the deeply unconscious, which is the spiritual. Psychological type is the language that we use to describe our experience that we're living. I call these, when we're talking this talk, spiritual. These are ethereal channels, ether channels, channels of light. I actually believe now that there's a classic view, let's say astrology. We ain't talking about astrology. These basic, very basic things, alchemy, these different principles, these different things that there are stories. They're not actual reality, so to speak. Alchemy trying to make lead into gold. This is all a story for you transforming, your transformation, transforming your mind from a lead, dead mind into a golden mind. And a golden mine, as we're talking about business principles, right? To where your thoughts just create money. That's what we're working on here. We're working on mastery of self. Mastery of self is mastery of your life. Because you begin to tell yourself a different story. So psychological type is the story we're telling ourselves. Because we're not experiencing reality, so to speak. We're actually experiencing our experience of reality. Which, what does that mean? That means we see the world through a filter. And this is where the psychological type piece comes in. So I see the world through the filter of wanting to know what's behind what I just experienced. Some people see it through a filter of wanting to understand what happened. Other people see it through the filter of feeling what happened. And other people live life through the filter of experiencing what happened. It's a very broad, general picture I'm painting here. But if those who notice, for those following along at home, I just walk through intuition, feeling, thinking, and sensing. These are the different filters we experience life through. And I put it out there that until you learn to accept each one of these filters, you don't have to, not saying that you need to see the world through the filter. You have to understand this is part of reality, that you're only seeing your slice. And there are other slices that not only people are seeing, but just exist in reality. So these things exist and you're missing them. You're missing information. You're missing an experience. You're missing part of your life. And this is where we open ourselves up to new ideas and new experiences. Some things we just need to open up within ourselves, connect, harmonize. Other things we need to connect with other people so they can show us, so they can reflect these things to us, so we can work together. It's where we had a demonstration the other day of, do we believe the same things? Because we're gonna see things differently. It ain't do we see things the same way. It ain't do we have the same goals. Do we believe the same things? And this is a principle for every area of life. Your personal life, your family life, your community, your business, your organization. That's why you should quit a job, if you don't believe the same things. They believe in treating their hourly employees like trash, whether you work an hourly or a salary. Do you believe that? If you stick around, you do. You in a family that believes in just get back, modern day or the same old same that humanity's done with blood vendetta, blood debt. Do you believe that or not? Again, do you believe in putting the work? Do you believe in being open, honest, and responsible for yourself moving forward? The story of belief is the story we're living. I believe everyone has a purpose. I believe you're meant for great things. I believe I'm here to connect with you, with the ones that are making a transition, making a transformation, and want to transform the world. That we're in a time right now that we get to choose socially, psychologically, how we will level up humanity. Or we just gonna sit here and whatever's gonna happen. Whether we want to say Mother Nature gonna shake us off, or are we gonna continue what we've been doing? Brutalizing each other. This ideology rises, the next one falls. Or we can choose to step up. We can choose to step up, be a person of influence, and change our nation, our families, ourselves, our world for the better. Do we believe the same thing? And are you telling yourself that story, or are you telling yourself another story? Travis Odewell, it's Pure Sound Daily Business. Are you leveling up your mind to be a golden mine? Peace.